Narcissists take people for granted. They can have a lot of people in their life that do a lot for them, care about them, um, give them good advice, do them favors, maybe lend them money, all these things. But at the end of the day, narcissists take people for granted. They just do. And if there's somebody really important in their life, let's say their spouse or their long-term partner, somebody who's been their kind of support, who's not just supported them, kept their ego uplifted throughout the years, you know, been the kind of person to regulate their emotions, who's somebody who's been there to listen to their complaints and take part in their triumphs. It doesn't really matter the role that somebody like their spouse could have played, the important role the person could have played to keep the narcissist somewhat stable, somewhat in a good, okay place. They still do take those people for granted. And narcissists so often, they take credit for things which they didn't actually accomplish. And what I mean by that is if somebody has supported them and has helped them accomplish great things, and then the manifestation of the great thing has come into their life, they're very slow to attribute credibility or credit rather, where credit is due. And they quickly believe that. They quickly believe that they accomplish such things on their own, that they don't need other people. And they're very cocky in that sense. But what ends up happening is, let's say let's say that the important person in their life was their spouse. Maybe they've been together for 20 years or 10 years or even 5 years or 30 years, and any material amount of time. Once that person leaves the picture and the narcissist realizes that they don't have that support there anymore, that they don't have that person who gave them a sense of purpose, because the supply that was being provided by the spouse to the narcissist, it kept them going. It kept their ego in a healthy place, or at least as healthy as in as healthy a place as a narcissist ego can be. It kept the narcissist somewhat stable emotionally. Of course, narcissists are never very stable, but it kept them stable enough to be able to get on with their day-to-day life. It gave them, the person would have given them company, would have given them that good attention, would have cared for them, would have nurtured them, all those things. Once you take that person out of the picture, the narcissist starts to panic because they realize that they can't carry on just with themselves. They realize that they have, that something's missing of tremendous importance. It's a monumental gap all of a sudden that basically affects every area of their life. They can't sleep properly. They lose their appetite. They become obsessive in their thinking and wanting their person back. And that's exactly what happens. Narcissists go into that kind of state of despair. Because, again, it goes back to their cockiness, the way they just take others for granted. And the people who've kept them uplifted and supported, their support. What they don't realize is when you remove the support, it's like you're removing the foundation of a building. The building collapses. And that's what narcissists do. They collapse. And then they obsess in wanting the person back. Yes, maybe they've abused somebody for 20 years and that person said enough's enough. They're gone. And that's where the narcissist comes across as if they're a changed person. As if they'll never inflict the harm that they previously inflicted on that person, that they'll never do that again. And then the only thing they can think about is getting their support system back. Getting the source of nurturing and caring back into their life. Because their life, if their life had any meaning before, it's got that much less now. everything kind of falls apart. And it's in those moments where narcissists lose a certain supply, a certain person that they've taken for granted, and they don't have that many people like that in their lives, where it's hard not to feel sorry for them. It's hard not to pity them. And when they make promises that they'll never do something again, that they'll never hurt you again, they'll never take you for granted again, it's very believable, because even they believe it. Because for them, it's like a life or death situation. And they're very good actors. They don't even try. It just comes so naturally. Yeah, they can be very convincing. They do want you back. They cannot make it without you. They'll never take you for granted again. Things will only be good going forwards. You will feel happiness with them going forwards. You will feel you'll be treated in such a good way as you deserve to be treated. And nobody else will treat you as well as they do. After all, they know you better than everybody else. And they'll make sure that you get what you deserve going forwards. All these things that they will tell you, and if you haven't been through this cycle before, you will believe it, and it's really difficult not to go back. And again, that's just because they're desperate. They're in panic mode, in this kind of do or die, and they need you back. So narcissists do get pushed to that point when somebody who's been very important in their lives disappears. Obviously, if you do go back, things will very quickly be the way they were before. And very quickly the narcissist will feel even a little bit triumphant. They'll always revert to their old ways. They know no other way. They will always revert to their old ways because it's so deeply ingrained into who they are. Even if they're very convincing when they say they want you back and that they'll treat you better. So, even though you in your most humane aspects, even though you feel sorry for the narcissist, even though you want to believe the things they're saying when they want you back, even though you want to see them changed and you would like to be in a relationship with them if they were changed, like you would want that version of them, but unfortunately that version of them doesn't exist. And you just have to do what's best for yourself. And if you end up going back, hopefully you quickly learn it was a mistake and then you get back out. It's not easy, but when you know what you're dealing with, in time, you'll find your way out. And in time, you'll find how to stay out.